morning and good luck. And welcome back to Good Luck with Gino. I'm your host, Gino the Ghost, and you're joining us for episode 40. What a big milestone we have hit. I mean, this is big. This is momentous. It's a big deal. And if you're joining us from Apple Podcasts or Spotify for the 40th episode, make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share it with a friend and family member. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, because today we got the Fendi jacket on. We had to bust out the Fendi jacket because it's freezing in LA. We need Taylor Swift to do some more round trips to go see her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, in her private jet and kill the ozone. Really speed up global warming for us because I can't deal with this shit anymore, huh? But anyway, the good news is I look great in it today. Obviously, we've got the pinky ring by St. Jules on. We got the 18-karat rope Dago chain on. And we got the Cartier wires on today. So if you're watching on YouTube and you have the pleasure of witnessing me in my element, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Leave a comment about what you enjoyed the episode. Before you even watch the episode, leave a comment. Yes, Monday, the best day of the week, blah, blah, blah. You finish the episode, then you leave a comment again. You tell me your favorite part, right? And that's going to help us grease the wheels of the algorithm as we continue to climb to being the biggest podcast in the world. I'll have you guys know my numbers doubled this month. That's a big fucking deal. I'm not talking about the clips that go viral every day, right? Because, I do that, right? I go viral. I wake up, I post a clip, I go viral. Is it a day that ends in a Y? I'm going viral on that day. I'm talking about the long form content. I'm talking about the people that are here for the show. You know what I'm saying? Those numbers doubled. Big. We love that for me and for us. I'm going to Miami on Monday to work with Redacted, huge Latin artist, name I can't say because I'm under NDA. Really excited to do that. It's going to be a good time. You guys know I love working in the Latin category. Tomorrow, today's Saturday, tomorrow, the Detroit Lions play. The Detroit Lions have their first home playoff game in 30 years. Now, if we lose tomorrow, there's a chance you don't hear from me for a few weeks. There's a good chance I just kind of up and disappear. Maybe I'm in jail. Maybe I take a mental vacation somewhere. So we need to all manifest the Detroit Lions taking care of business at home against the Los Angeles Rams and the former Lion Matt Stafford, who, big Stafford fan, but go fuck yourself this week, right? Moving on, because I know you guys are sick of hearing about the Lions. I had a big week on social media again. I had a few clips go crazy, dummy, stupid, viral, as they do. And one of them was this clip I posted making fun of, speaking of sports, the guy who's like, poor people can't watch sports. If you're watching sports and you're broke, you're as dumb as a box of rocks, whatever. Most people agreed with me. Some people, for some reason, were trying to find a point in there that he was trying to make. Somebody who is a fan of the show and has been following me for a little while, he commented, hey, bro kind of cooked on this one. Like, he kind of has a point here. And when I read his name, I had a double take. His name is Terrence the Therapist. But when I looked at it, at first glance, I thought it said Terrence the Rapist. And that was so funny to me. So I commented, hey man, I had a double take at your name because I thought, well, never mind. And then I posted it to my story because it was so funny. Well, then the comment kind of went viral. And everybody, we were all kind of just having a good laugh at this, right? A harmless laugh. Because obviously the guy's not a rapist and he just kind of had an oversight that therapist looks like the rapist. So it looks, somebody commented like, dude just has a stutter, like Terrence the rapist. Anyway, it was funny. I was just trying to help him. I genuinely meant it. I was like, dude, you should change your ad name because this is just dangerous handle. And everybody was kind of like, we were all having a good laugh. Then I DM'd him because I kind of started feeling bad because he's like, yo, like I fuck with your show, like, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I fuck with you. I genuinely meant that. Like, you should change your name, I would tell like my best friend that, like, if that was his name. But he said somebody called the state board, like the state therapy board or something, and like said he was a rapist or something and tried to come for his license or something. What the fuck is wrong with people, dude? So now I'm like feeling guilty. I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Like, I didn't think that these idiots were going to do something like this. And I started thinking like, man, I have a responsibility here with this platform as I build this cult, and to take over the podcasting game. This is kind of a part of the learning curve, apparently, that I need to be mindful of. Because apparently this guy was trying to be like a soldier of mine and like thought that I was like actually trying to come after this guy. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he changed his name to Terrence Talks Therapy. So if you're listening to the show, I want everybody to follow him, leave him a nice comment, say what's up to him, tell him I sent you. Because he's a fan of the podcast. He's a cool guy. I was DMing him, so go show him some love. Also because I feel guilty. So help ease my conscience. Okay. Moving on. I don't know if you guys saw, but Brad Lea, who's an entrepreneur bro that I made fun of, another clip that went viral, he's the guy who said, you can't wear a suit if you're the boss. You remember that clip I did? So that clip went viral. He responded to it yesterday, and he did a reaction to my reaction. So we're going to watch his reaction to my reaction. And then we're going to unpack it, right? Okay, here we go.
I haven't worn a suit in a long time, actually.
Well, why would you if you're the boss? That's why every time you see someone in a suit and tie, 9 times out of 10, they work for someone that's dressing like us.
Yeah.
Because if you could pick what the hell you're going to wear, why would you wear that monkey suit? Now, again, I always say I will wear a suit if I'm being married or being buried.
Courtesy laugh. The joke was terrible. He felt bad for him.
It wasn't a joke, Butch.
Why would you wear a suit from Men's Warehouse if you're a boss?
Why would you wear any kind of suit unless there was an occasion?
9 times out of 10, they work for someone that's dressing like us.
Dressing like us in a Lacoste t-shirt like it's 2001?
A Lacoste t-shirt, a Giorgio Armani v-neck, a Tom Ford v-neck, a t-shirt, bro.
You need to dress like me in my Lacoste polo that's 2 sizes too small.
You look like you're wearing a nightgown. Did you buy a pack of bubble gum and they threw in the shirt?
He looks like David Beckham, and he sounds like entrepreneur bro Matthew McConaughey.
He looks like Jay Duran now that he got his hair shaved.
Just because you bought 10 rental homes before you were 20 years old because you were born in a trust fund.
I don't know where this is coming from at all.
Doesn't mean that you can give me fashion advice. I'll wear a suit if I want to. Stop taking fashion advice from rich people because most of them dress like...
I think you need to take a look in the mirror, my friend, and stop throwing rocks when you live in a glass house. Stop throwing rocks when you live in a glass house. Well, dude, I don't know why this Count Dracula looking mother with the V-neck hairline, he seems to be angry that someone else has an opinion other than him. And he seems to be angry that I have a lower voice and I look like David Beckham. And I don't know why he would think that's an insult. David Beckham, I'll take it.
Well, let's dive in. A reaction to the reaction of the reaction. Reactionception. Because a reaction to the reaction wasn't enough. We have to go deeper. We got to go deeper. That's an Inception reference. Okay, let's react to his reaction of my reaction, reaction by reaction. Okay, we'll skip forward a little bit here to some of this.
I'm being married or being buried.
Courtesy laugh. The joke was terrible. He felt bad for him.
It wasn't a joke, Butch.
It was a joke. It was a joke. You tried to make a joke. That was a joke. Also, I'm not sure what Butch is referencing. Like he called me Butch. I don't know. That's like a boomer reference that I'm too young to know. I'm not really sure what Butch was. Anyway, moving on. Would you wear a suit from Men's Warehouse if you're a boss?
Why would you wear any kind of suit unless there was an occasion?
9 times out of 10, they work for someone that's dressing like us.
Dressing like us in a Lacoste t-shirt like it's 2001.
A Lacoste t-shirt, a Giorgio Armani v-neck, a Tom Ford v-neck, you know, a t-shirt, bro.
Those are a bunch of brands from 2001. Just named a whole bunch of other brands that we don't wear anymore. We're not wearing V-necks anymore. I don't know how to break it to you. I'm sorry. If you're not European, we're not wearing V-necks anymore. You need to dress like me in my Lacoste polo. That's 2 sizes too small.
You look like you're wearing a nightgown. Did you buy a pack of bubble gum and they threw in the shirt?
Unfortunately, your podcast guest wasn't there to courtesy laugh on that one. Huh? Yeah, that one didn't quite land either, did it? Also, look, Brad, I'm telling you this as a friend, right? Oversized tees have been in style for a considerably long amount of time. So, like, making fun of my shirt being an XL when I may be an L, and that's the only time I ever take an L, for the record, isn't really an insult. You know what I'm saying? Like, men don't wear super tight shirts anymore unless they're an Instagram business guru or a European male model walking for Prada at New York Fashion Week. We don't wear super tight shirts anymore. Now, I do appreciate you putting on your best outfit to address me in this video. And I do want to give you kudos for that. But yeah, you can't give me fashion advice. Just like I'm not going to give you, like, you know, business advice on how to sell a course to somebody else, because I've never done that. I can't give you advice on that. You can't give me fashion advice, right? Okay, moving on. He looks like David Beckham, and he sounds like entrepreneur bro Matthew McConaughey.
He looks like Jay Duran now that he got his hair shaved.
Don't know who that is. Just because you bought 10 rental homes before you were 20 years old because you were born in a trust fund.
I don't know where this is coming from at all.
I made that up, but it's a reference to another video, and I don't know if you got it out the mud or what, but it's funny. So, you know, that's that. Doesn't mean that you can give me fashion advice. I'll wear a suit if I want to. Now, that's not a courtesy laugh. That's a real laugh because it was funny. Taking fashion advice from rich people because most of them dress like...
I think you need to take a look in the mirror, my friend, and stop throwing rocks when you live in a glass house.
That saying doesn't work because I don't dress like shit. Throwing rocks in a glass house was when you're talking about something that you do. I don't do that because I am a fashion icon, right? There's a difference. Okay, moving on.
Stop throwing rocks when you live in a glass house.
That's a pretty good impression of me. You got a little bit more breathiness in your voice, right? And you do need to be wearing the Cartiers when you do that. But otherwise, a pretty good impression. Moving on to the ending.
I don't know why this Count Dracula looking mother with the V-neck hairline, he seems to be angry that someone else has an opinion other than him. And he seems to be angry that I have a lower voice and I look like David Beckham. And I don't know why he would think that's an insult. David Beckham, I'll take it.
Okay. Final thoughts. 1, I'm not angry. There's a common misconception when I do these videos that I'm angry. I'm not angry. I wish you knew how much joy and entertainment that these videos bring me, that this kind of content brings me. It's a true joy to me. I'm never angry at these videos. 2, the V-neck hairline thing. Now, the V-neck hairline is something that I embrace. It's called a widow's peak. And it's a pretty common thing. A lot of men have a widow's peak. I kept the widow's peak in honor of all the married men that I annihilate on the internet and widow their wives in the process. It's kind of like it adds to my villain arc, It's kind of a part of my mantra. So I'm keeping it. Also, the David Beckham line. The David Beckham line was not an insult. It was just kind of a observation because he's obviously a handsome looking dude. And you look like him. So that's a compliment. Look, I respect the clapback. I respect the David. I got hundreds of DMs from people like, yo, are you going to fucking fry him? Like, you got to go at him. Look, I'm not about to get in an internet war with this guy. I respect the clapback. And despite being aggressively wrong in his opinions on fashion and probably many other things, like telling men to wear suits, telling men that wear suits that they're just a slave to the establishment. I love a good old fashioned shit talk off. You know what I mean? But I like to handle these things in person. And to be honest, again, it's all in fun. And we've been chatting in the DMs, me and David, and we're going to settle this like men on a podcast. So I talked to David. I'm either going to be flying to Vegas to do his show, or if he's in LA, he'll do my show. And we're gonna chop it up, because I think it would be legendary, hilarious content. And all the other entrepreneur bros that I make fun of on this show, I'm like dying to get them on the show. I think it would be really cool to like sit down and hilarious and try to get in their fucking head and talk this out. Because the internet and the world wants to know, right? So, okay, moving on. Speaking of Widow's Peak, Chicago Bulls fans booed the elderly widow of dead Bulls GM Jerry Krause the other night, and that's peak Chicago Bulls fandom. And that is a bar. That's wordplay. That's me being a prolific songwriter in action on the podcast. Again, you kind of got to watch this, but you can kind of hear it. But this is them announcing at the Bulls Ring of Honor ceremony that they had at halftime. They're announcing former Bulls GM Jerry Krause, who, by the way, led them to 6 NBA championships in one of the greatest eras of any sports team ever with fucking Michael Jordan. Okay? He put it together. They're honoring him, and because of The Last Dance, the TV show, the show that like is Michael Jordan propaganda, everybody thinks that Jerry Krause is like this fucking horrible person that ruined the Bulls. So here's them announcing him at the ceremony. He couldn't be at the ceremony because, well, he's dead. So his widow is there to accept the award on his behalf. Here's what happened when they announced it.
NBA champion, two-time NBA Executive of the Year, represented by his wife Thelma, Basketball Hall of Famer, and former Bulls general manager Jerry Krause.
They're booing her. His widow, Thelma, which is the most old white woman name ever, is there, and they booed her, and she's just sobbing. Because it's like, you ungrateful, spoiled fucking brats in Chicago. You ungrateful, undeserving, spoiled fucking brats, dude. You've got like the greatest basketball team in the history of basketball in 96, probably. You won 6 NBA championships in that era. And you boo his widow at the ceremony because you watched the documentary and, oh, he broke the team up. Well, dude, it ended. Imagine being a Pistons fan like me with Joe Dumars, who drafted Darko Milicic over Melo and D. Wade and Chris Bosh in the LeBron James draft. Then despite that, you win a title somehow. And then You dismantle that dynasty for the corpse of Ben Gordon and Allen Iverson and fucking all the other piece of shit players in that era, Charlie Villanueva. And then we turn the keys over to Stan Van Gundy, who drafts Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell and Stanley Johnson over Devin Booker. Then you bring in Troy Weaver, who we have now, who's assembled the worst basketball team in the history of the NBA. And I got to get on the internet and look at Bulls fans booing one of the greatest general managers in the history of sports. Not even booing him, booing his fucking 75-year-old widowed wife. You ungrateful fucking losers. What an embarrassment, dude. What an embarrassment. Gross. Staying on sports. Remember the Jason Whitlock video that I posted that also went viral? Well, I posted it. Later that day, Stephen A. Smith posted a random rant on Jason Whitlock where he just like also bodied Jason Whitlock. And it was really funny. And in that video, in my video, and talking about, you know, him finding the gay birthday card ad on ESPN's website, that video was centered around his lack of knowledge of cookies. Cookies are basically, there's three kinds of cookies, right, on the internet. There's three kinds of cookies. There's the cookies that store your login info on websites, like if you save your password, if you save your email, whatever. There's privacy cookies, which are the cookies I was referring to, which are the cookies that they use to track you for targeted ads. And then the third cookies are the cookies that Jason Whitlock eats a sleeve of before bed because he's a fat fuck, right? But Google, who is the biggest targeted ad company in the world, with all the pressures of government and society starting to flare up surrounding data privacy, they made a move that was proactive instead of reactive. And Google has decided that they're going to start winding down third-party cookies by the end of the year, which means there will no longer be cookies. So fellas, when you're clearing your browser history after a night of just disgusting, self-indulgent porn activity, you're only going to have to clear your history, not your cookies. You hear that, Jason? When you're done on Pornhub's gay section, you don't have to clear your cookies anymore. And you won't see gay birthday card ads anymore. Well, you still might. So Google, let me try to break this down simply. So 3 billion people use Chrome. Chrome is the largest browser by far. And Google is the largest targeted ad company in the world. They make $1 kajillion a year using cookies to track you and send you targeted ads. So Google has phased out cookies, and they've already shut it out. They've already shut off cookies for 30 million users, 1% roughly of their user base. They did it the other day. So you might have not even realized, but you just don't have cookies anymore if you're on Chrome. Eventually, nobody will have them on Chrome. And the reason is they're trying to protect their users and protect your data privacy. Well, don't worry. Google doesn't actually give a fuck about your privacy. They're just finding a new creative way to track you that makes you feel a little bit safer, and it makes the government back off their case. They've introduced Chrome browser tracking. So now the Chrome browser itself is going to be tracking you. And your data won't be sent to Google or any third-party advertisers. It's all within the browser. So, like, yeah, this is obviously a little bit more secure. Like, this is better, I guess. I guess it's a very, 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 very small win. But yeah, now the browser itself, when you're on a website like ESPN NFL Standings, the browser will ask you and its history and the data what you've been looking at, and then it'll use that information to show you ads. like gay birthday cards if you're Jason Whitlock, right? And they're calling it tracker protection. So one day in the near future, you're going to get on Google Chrome and there's going to be a fucking pop-up or something when you update and relaunch Chrome, and it's going to say, introducing tracker protection. And you'll no longer have to deal with cookies. And, you know, this is just kind of bringing it all full circle of how big of a milestone episode this is for me. My first ever podcast episode was titled Take My Cookies. And I had a rant on there where I'm talking about how much I fucking hate cookies. And I hate, like, whenever I go on any website, it's like, can we take your cookies? Can we track you? And it's like, yeah, motherfucker, just stop. I just want to look at the website. I don't want to click allow cookies every time I go on every website. Well, now we don't have to. And that's great. So wonderful. Okay. Last big thing that happened this week before we get to everybody's favorite segment. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin ETF because it's been an absolute clusterfuck this week in the US government trying to figure out the Bitcoin ETF. So whether you're a fan of crypto, you own crypto, you don't own crypto, you're skeptical of crypto, you hate crypto, I implore you to listen to this segment because it's really important and it will shed some light on why you should care about crypto and why, well, just another example of the US government being absolutely fucking morons. Okay? So, there's been a lot of speculation in the past months that there was going to be a spot Bitcoin ETF that was going to be launched and approved by the SEC. So the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they're the government agency that's supposed to protect investors. They're the government agency that is supposed to make sure people aren't doing financial crimes and everything's regulated and blah, 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 blah. So because of all the pressure, you know, Gary Gensler, who's the head of the SEC, has been very anti-crypto pretty publicly, right? But despite all his efforts to regulate and shut down crypto, it's not working because the government knows we can't shut down crypto. We need to embrace it because, as I talked about on many other episodes, we will be left behind if we don't. And it is inevitable. So the SEC has been folding and it's been a losing battle. BlackRock, who is one of the largest VC firms in the country, filed to apply for a Bitcoin ETF a little while ago. And the rumors and speculation that have been heating up leading to this week were that it's going to get approved. So because of that, crypto has been going up. Bitcoin has been going up. Because essentially, if a Bitcoin ETF is approved, just basically the government is saying like, hey, remember all the like crypto is a scam propaganda we've been trying to push for the past like 7 years? Yeah, well, guess we were wrong. And not only were we wrong, but we're going to allow an ETF to be formed. If you don't know what an ETF is an exchange-traded fund, which is a type of investment fund, an exchange-traded product that allows for it to be traded on stock exchanges. So you've heard of like gold ETFs. If I don't own any gold, even though I clearly own a lot of gold, if I didn't own any gold and I didn't want to buy any gold, I could buy into a gold ETF, which is basically an exchange-traded fund of the price of gold, and it tracks the price of gold. So I can buy into the price of gold. And as that goes up, I can make money and sell that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? There's plenty of other ETFs, QQQ, ARK, which is one that follows like tech companies. There's iShares, which is a BlackRock investment traded fund, et cetera. So this ETF is like rumored to be accepted by the SEC, and it's going to happen any day. And the reports leading up to, you know, a few days ago were that it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen tomorrow. Well, at 4 p.m., roughly, the SEC's official Twitter account tweets out, "We've approved the Bitcoin ETF. Trading will begin blah, 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 blah. With like an official announcement with fucking Gary Gensler's face on it. It's been approved. That happens. The price goes, pew, right? Rocket ship. We're off. Well, 15 minutes later, Gary Gensler tweets from his official government account, the SEC's official account has been compromised and sent out an unauthorized tweet. We have not approved any Bitcoin ETFs at this time. The price goes, boo, and fucking nosedives. So the SEC, whose mission is to protect small investors, got their Twitter account hacked because they didn't have two-factor authentication on. The U.S. government agency that single-handedly can move markets, that is in charge of regulating the financial body of the U.S. economy, got its Twitter account hacked. The agency that's supposed to protect small investors costed their investors nearly $1 billion in losses by falsely reporting on their compromised account that the ETF was approved. Because what happened is when the price went up, everybody with a short position was liquidated. And then when the price nosedived, everybody with a long position was liquidated. $1 billion wiped out. Because, oops, we got hacked. Are you fucking kidding me? How can you protect investors when you can't even protect your Twitter credentials? The SEC is an absolute fucking clown show. Embarrassing. Because nearly exactly 24 hours later, at 4 p.m. the next day, guess what happened? The Bitcoin ETF was mysteriously approved. It's almost like they weren't hacked at all, and they just accidentally sent the tweet a day early. It's almost like the social media intern at the SEC Gov official Twitter accidentally scheduled the tweet a day early. What a fucking clown show. So the ETF's approved. BlackRock's IBIT, which stands for iShares Bitcoin Trust ETF, did $3 billion in volume on the first day. So, yeah. Look, let's talk about Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC. He is Mr. Burns. The financial revolution needed a villain, and there's just nobody better than this guy. Look at him. He looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. The SEC is supposed to be merit neutral in its role in regulating markets. Gensler is not. There's something like $16 trillion worth of capital in gold ETFs today, which is an indication that gold, like Bitcoin, is also just a tool for speculation. That's why they call Bitcoin digital gold. They're just dinosaurs, man. I say it time and time again. Under Gensler's watch, the U.S. government has pushed entrepreneurs building in Web3 offshore, attacked crypto constantly, despite now just rolling over and losing. They attacked all the good actors in Web3, like Coinbase and Kraken and other exchanges and companies that are trying to push crypto forward. And then they let FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried right under their nose create the largest case of fraud since the Madoff Ponzi scheme. And now they're letting him off, basically. Well, not letting him off, but he's been dropped a bunch of charges on him. All while doing nothing about hedge funds manipulating markets and politicians getting rich from insider trading like Elizabeth Warren and Nancy Pelosi and fucking Mitch McConnell and all these other crooks. Okay? Abolish the SEC. They need to get this whole agency is a fucking waste of time, and they're just setting us back. And nobody hates Bitcoin more. The only person, let me rephrase that. The only person that hates Bitcoin more than the SEC and Gary Gensler is big banks. The CEO of JP Morgan has gone on like a propaganda tour talking shit about Bitcoin and about crypto. Listen to what he said the other day on the news. It's fucking hilarious. Let me find it. Here it is.
There's also new regulation coming on Bitcoin, and you famously said recently that you would shut it down if you were in government. Can you give us more clarity on that?
Yeah, what I was also pointing out is that the actual use cases are sex trafficking, tax avoidance, anti-money laundering, terrorism financing. It's not people just buying and selling Bitcoin. There's no value to if you're buying and selling Bitcoin.
Huh. Interesting. Sex trafficking, huh? Well, that kind of jogs my memory. Hey, JP Morgan, remember when you guys had a $75 million settlement over facilitating Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring? Hey, yeah, you remember that? Remember how you guys were Epstein's banking partner for 30 years and you had a $75 million settlement for facilitating the whole fucking sex trafficking ring? Oh, remember when you had a $290 million settlement in June for a similar case? Agreeing with former executive Jess Staley? Yeah. Oh, drugs, huh? Bitcoin's only used to move drugs? What about that cargo ship that was seized that was owned by JP Morgan that had 20 tons of cocaine on board? Yeah, 20 tons of cocaine on board. $1.3 billion of cocaine. Cocaine. On your ships. Yeah, I don't think we're moving 20 tons of cocaine through digital currency on the blockchain. Probably more likely that we're moving 20 tons of cocaine on boats that are controlled by big banks for reasons that I don't want to get into. Not putting on my tinfoil hat, these are just the facts. Big banks hate crypto because it's decentralized and they can't make money on your money anymore if you're not holding your money in the bank. If you own, and now getting into why Bitcoin is so great and crypto is so great, because you own the money, you control the money, nobody can touch it, nobody can take it from you. Nobody can make money on your money off of you while your money depreciates. Like when it's sitting in a bank account. I'm not saying buy Bitcoin with all your money. I'm not saying to do that. This is not financial advice. I'm just giving you, I'm outlining this for you, right? Now, with the Bitcoin ETF, if you've been looking to get into crypto, now that you can buy crypto on your Robinhood app pretty soon, you can buy crypto in the stock market. You might be thinking, great, now this is a way for me to get into Bitcoin. This is a way for me to get into Ethereum because an Ethereum ETF is coming too. The thing is, when you're buying an ETF, you don't actually own the crypto. So when you buy the Bitcoin ETF, you aren't buying Bitcoin. You're buying, again, an exchange-traded fund that controls Bitcoin, that owns Bitcoin, and you're tracking the price of Bitcoin. You're buying into the price of Bitcoin. Now, while that's great because, you don't have to worry about maintaining control of your own wallet, you don't got to worry about being sloppy and getting hacked, you don't have to worry about losing your seed phrase. It's nice to just have it, in a centralized place. And a lot of people because of that, a lot of people just keep their money on centralized exchanges or they, I would implore you, if you're interested in in buying Bitcoin or buying Ethereum, just buy the coins. Because there's a saying in crypto, which is not your keys, not your crypto. If you don't actually control your crypto, even with like Coinbase, let's say you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, as long as it's in Coinbase, you don't actually control that. Coinbase can still freeze your account on behalf of the U.S. government for whatever reason. When you buy it on a centralized exchange, immediately, as soon as you can, get it out of there and get it in an independent wallet that you can control. Now, again, I'm not going to get into how to do that. It's a YouTube video. There's a 5-minute YouTube video that can break this down for you. I know it sounds daunting and scary. It's very simple. But yeah, just buy Bitcoin. Don't buy the Bitcoin ETF because, again, market hours limitations. Like, the Bitcoin ETF can only be traded during trading hours. Bitcoin trades 24/7. So, if it's a Saturday and price goes crazy and you want to sell and turn your profit and whatever, you can't do it until Monday on market open. The Bitcoin ETF is a step forwards towards, it's a step forward towards, acceptance and the government finally, agreeing that Bitcoin and crypto is not a scam. However, we got to be careful. We got to be mindful of it because this could be leading towards a central bank digital currency. God, this is probably so fucking boring. If I sound like the crypto bro at the bar, you guys want me to just make fun of people, don't you? Yeah. All right. Well, look, if you want to hear more about this or talk more about it, feel free to shoot me a DM. I'm an open book. There's also great info out there if you want to just look it up. But not financial advice, just giving you the update on the world, giving you the update on finance, because this is where you come to get the real news. You don't go to fucking CNN. You don't go to Fox. You don't go to Fox Business. You don't go to CNBC. You come here. All right, let's get to everyone's favorite segment, yeah? Been talking your fucking ear off about crypto for the past 10 minutes. It's time for the FOH HOF, the Fuck Out of Here Hall of Fame. First, I'm going to take a sip of water. You like that? It's like an ASMR podcast. You can just hear me gulping and my water. Okay. The first video brought to you by the Michael Jordan of the FOH HOF. Brought to you by, I think, maybe the first inductee. He's back. I think it's his third time in the FOH HOF. Of course, I'm talking about our good friend Luke Belmar, who's back with another absolute classic. Here we go.
Think about this, 300 dudes. Everybody nets $1 million a year, which is super easy to do. Now you have a network that's worth $300 million in its first year. The next year, it's worth 600. In 10 years, you have a $3 billion network. How do you think the rich people operate? They're operating in this manner. Okay, everybody putting $100 million in this fund. Let's grow it together. Let's do some business deals. Let's do whatever. And they start moving money that way. You need to be able to move in a group because when you're with a lot of people, you can multiply a lot quicker.
Dude.
Think about this, 300 dudes. Everybody.
Think about this. 300 dudes. Just think about this. Jason Whitlock, think about this. 300 dudes. You each net $1 million a year, which is super easy to do. It's super easy. You just net $1 million, which anybody can do, right? You just net $1 million. And you get 300 dudes. Think about this. 300 dudes. The intro, This is the most homoerotic entrepreneur bro video to date. Yeah, 300 dudes because women don't make money. You get 300 dudes, not one woman, because we don't talk to women. Because they're a distraction to growing your network and your net worth. Think about it. 300 dudes, right? You do network together. 300 dudes. You drop ship together. You shower together. You bathe together. You make love to each other, right? 300 dudes. And if you each make $1 million, which is super easy to do, And then here comes that entrepreneur bro math. 300 dudes times $1 million. Well, that's $300 million. And then you guys just all put all your money together in a big fund and just go grow that to, what did he say? $10 billion? $100 billion after a few years? If you got 20 rental homes before you, if you can get 300 dudes before you're 30, if you can make 300 dudes, if you can screw 300 dudes before you're 30, dude, 300 dudes, why stop there? You get 800 dudes. Everybody nets $1 billion a year, which is super easy to do, right? Now you have $800 billion. Okay? Now you have the net worth in your network of the GDP of Switzerland, right? You now are the most powerful country in Eastern Europe because now you're more powerful and more wealthy than every Swiss bank in the world, right? So you've got 800 dudes and $800 billion. You build the largest bathhouse in Western Europe, right? And then every morning you wake up at 3 a.m. and you take a cold plunge, right? So 800 dudes take a cold plunge. Now you got a micro penis, right? All 800 dudes have a micro penis. All 800 dudes have a 1-inch penis, like the guy that in the Bass Pro Shop, the guy that jumped in the water in the Bass Pro Shop had the micro penis. 800 dudes with a 1-inch micro penis. That's 800 inches. Now you have an 800-inch penis. 800 inches. That's not net worth. That's net girth. You've got an 800-inch penis for 800 dudes. I mean, dude, this video is fucking hilarious, bro.
Think about this. 300 dudes. Everybody nets $1 million a year, which is super easy to do. Now you have a network that's worth $300 million in its first year. Wow. The next year, it's worth 600. In 10 years, you have a $3 billion network. How do you think the rich people operate? They're operating in this manner. Okay, everybody putting $100 million in this fund. Let's grow it together. Let's do some business deals. Let's do whatever. Yeah, and they start moving money that way. You need to be able to move in a group because when you're with a lot of people, you can multiply a lot quicker.
Yeah, dude. 300 dudes that'll go to war with you, you know? This guy thinks he's King Leonidas. What is this, 300? This is yapping! You know? And then he just fucking kicks the dude into the hole. This guy fucking yaps unlike anybody I've ever met in my life. Bro got his MBA in Yaponomics at Yap Myth University. He's the founder and CFO of Yap Rock Investments. You know? He's like he's the Warren Buffett of yapping. The Warren Buffett of just word salad. He's the Warren Buffet of words. You know? He's a word salad sous chef. Just fucking opens up a financial terms glossary every video, closes his eyes and just points, and then just starts reading definitions. You know? Just starts reading words. This guy is fucking incredible. Every video I've ever seen from Luke Belmar is the funniest fucking video I've ever seen. Luke Belmar is the entrepreneur final boss. He's the entrepreneur bro final boss. He's like the Bane of Yap. You merely adopted the Yap. I was born into it, molded by it. You think yapping is your ally? You merely adopted the Yap. That's a pretty good Bane impression. You think yapping is your ally? You merely adopted the Yap. I was born into it, molded by it. Needs a little work. That's pretty good, though. So, yeah. So that's good. Shout out Luke Belmar. Fucking hilarious, dude. I don't know any other way to describe this, but he looks like he's wearing somebody else's face. He looks like if Matt Rife and a reptilian had a baby, you know? And then like, you know in Mission Impossible when they like wear somebody else's face? He looks like he's wearing somebody else's face. All right, enough on that. Let's move on. Our next video is brought to you by two kids that are from the school of Luke Belmar. Here we go.
But he said once you have $20 million, like you can have everything. Unless you want to buy a jet or a yacht, like you're set. But for me, I'm like, I'd burn through 20 million and like...
Dude, I could spend 20 million before you could say 20 million. Like,
and I even think like 100 million's not a lot.
I know, like, would you buy an $80 million jet? Let's say, you know, you get to the point where you can buy a jet. Are you ever going to stop? Like, at what amount of money are you going to be like, okay, I'm going to chill out. I'm going to like retire, like chill with my kids.
Never.
No.
Yeah, never, huh? These boys recorded this during recess, didn't they? James, Kevin, come on, get back to class. These are children. I mean, they can't even grow facial hair yet. It looks like Walter Jr. from Breaking Bad started a podcast. Is $20 million even a lot of money? I mean, I think $100 million isn't even a lot of money. Would you buy an $80 million jet? Yeah, I would. Yeah. I mean, are these guys cosplaying being billionaires? What is this? What is this clip? Who is this video for? I mean, the combined net worth here between these two is probably about $700 and 900 V-Bucks on Fortnite. Like, what the fuck are these kids talking about, dude?
But he said once you have $20 million, like you can have everything. Unless you want to buy a jet or a yacht, like you're set. But for me, I'm like, I'd burn through 20 million and like...
Dude, I could spend 20 million before you could say 20 million.
Dude, I could spend 20 million before you even say 20 million, dude. Yeah, I mean, you know, $20 million isn't really anything these days. You can't really buy anything with $20 million. Inflation is crazy, you know? This is...
And I even think like 100 million's not a lot.
I know, like, would you buy an $80 million jet? Let's say, you know, you get to the point where you can buy a jet. Are you ever going to stop? Like, at what amount of money are you going to be like, okay, I'm going to chill out. I'm going to like retire, like chill with my kids.
Never.
What amount of money for you guys to stop podcasting forever? 40 million? 50 million? Because I bet I could probably launch a GoFundMe and raise that amount of money in a matter of days. We need to form a government agency to regulate podcasts. We need to disband the SEC. Just fuck that government agency. We need to launch a new one. I'll be the commissioner. I'll head it. A new government agency to regulate podcasting. The SPA, the Securities and Podcast Association. I don't know. I'm starting to like, the more of these videos I see, I'm starting to reconsider freedom of speech. We may need to take a second look at the U.S. Constitution because I just like, you should not be able to get on here. You should not be able to spend like $100 an hour at a podcasting studio and just be able to say whatever you want anymore. Like these kids should be in jail or juvenile. And this is going to sound like a flex, and it kind of is one, but I'm close with some of the wealthiest people in the world. A few of them from different parts of the country that I know through music and other things. I've been on yachts with them. I've been at dinners at their homes. I'm close with these people. I can assure you, none of these motherfuckers sit around and talk about, is $100 million even that much money? Would you buy an $80 million jet? These motherfuckers do not talk about that. So these kids that are clearly just trying to like convince people that they just make a bunch of money with some shitty fucking trading company that they started to sell you a course. The only people they're fooling are just gullible, poor people that are trying to but they do the worst job of it. You know what I mean? Like Luke Belmar at least is like a charismatic. He does a much better job making up words. These fucking kids. Like, shut up, dude. These kids need a swirly. If I went to fucking high school with these kids, dude, I would shove them in a fucking locker, drag them into the girls' locker room, give them a swirly. Like an 80s high school movie. That's what they need. And we need to bring that shit back. Because this is enough. Enough is enough with this. These fucking Andrew Tate spawns. Okay. Last video. I saw this just scrolling my TikTok feed, and I almost threw my phone out the window. I'm just going to play it, but I want to warn you, this is graphic in the words that are used.
Hi there. I'm Cody. Pronouns em, ers, or zem, zers, or really any neo-pronouns that aren't z, her, hers. But I really just want to introduce myself and open myself up for questions. So again, hi, I'm Cody. I am a white, transmasculine, femme, non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery. My identities are fluid and ever-changing and don't like boundaries. And I just want to open myself up as a resource. If you have any questions, please ask.
Hi, Cody. First question. What language is this? Can I study this on Duolingo? Hold on. This is, I consider myself pretty liberal. I mean, I'm as many would consider it, but I'm pretty socially liberal. But this is
masculine, femme, non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial.
Is this a Harry Potter spell? I'm surprised my laptop didn't start levitating when she started like reading off this witchcraft. Which, by the way, she's reading this off of a doc while she's doing this video, which is the funniest part. What are some of these words, dude? Temporarily, mostly able-bodied. What does that mean? Gray demi-bisexual. What does it mean? Demi-low romantic. What does it mean? Unitarian Universalist. What does it mean? Culturally Jewish. That's not a pronoun. These are just adjectives. These aren't even pronouns. She's just listing off adjectives. That's it. I'm Republican now. That's it. I'm back. Here I am. I'm Republican now. You got me. I can't. Who are we voting for? Is it Ron DeSantis? Is it Haley? Were you voting Trump back in? I mean, I'm on your side now. I'm all the way right. What is this, man? This is not an identity. This is a cry for attention. And social media has people so starved that they have to open up an encyclopedia, dictionary, and a thesaurus just to describe themselves. There are people that are actually struggling with their identity, and the trans movement is a very real movement. And what's so unfortunate is that people like this make up for like 0.000000005% of the population. But people group everybody in the LGBTQ bucket with these people. You'll see it in my comment section on this video. There's going to be some horrible, hateful comments. This is just like being a man and identifying as a woman. No, it's not. It's not. There's nuance. okay? I know it seems black and white. I know it seems binary. And I know you're going to, well, the science, well, if you look at the male and female anatomy, just fucking stop, okay? I know. We all know. We know that a man is born with the penis and a woman is, we know. You're not fucking Ben Shapiroing me in my comment section, breaking down how the male and female anatomy works. Some people identify with whatever female gender norms, they feel like that, whatever. But this is a cry for attention. And I'm giving it to her because it's hilarious, dude. This is insane.
White, transmasculine, femme, non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma.
How would I ever remember that? Hey, just introducing myself. Here's a list of 47 adjectives. My cultural identity, any mental disorders I have, what I had for breakfast this morning, what I'm wearing right now, and my haircut. Make sure you address me as all of them and do not get them confused. Do you understand? Like, this is why it's impossible to convince the right to accept some of the LGBTQ community. Do you understand? It's so frustrating, but I have to make fun of it because it's so funny. I can't not. Gino, why are you bullying this person? Because I have to. Do you understand? I have to bully this person. I don't have a choice. It's a gift and a curse. It's a burden. Every day I wake up. I don't want to have to do this, but somebody has to. Because if not, if there's no checks and balances, then it's anarchy. And if I need to be the voice of reason in the middle, then I will be. Because there's going to be other people that are going to make fun of this video, and they're going to be all the way over here. And it's going to be really extreme, and they're going to loop it. It's just, there's nuance. This is mental illness, dude.
Millennial.
Millennial. Like, that's just when you were born. It's not your pronouns.
Parent in mental health recovery.
Oh, you're in mental health recovery? No, I'm in mental health recovery. After this video. We're all in mental health recovery now. I mean, she needs to go to recovery for real because Shorty overdosed on adjectives. She overdosed on pronouns. That's going to conclude this week's episode. I want to thank you for sticking with me for 40 episodes, whether it's your first episode or your 40th episode. I want to thank you for supporting the Good Luck Podcast. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you know what to do. Make sure you like, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment. If you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment about what you enjoyed. And also leave a comment about all your adjectives. Maybe list them all out in separate comments. And until next week, as the world continues to melt from the jet fuel of Taylor Swift's private jets, we're gonna send you off with the new intro, which is now no longer the intro, it's just the theme song now. I've changed it. So the original intro is going to be the intro. This is going to be the theme song, and this is how we're going to go out for this week's episode. So until next week, good night and good luck.
Everybody listen close. There's a brand new show that you gotta know. It's called Good Luck with Gino. It's gonna get you moving, get you in the zone. Good luck, good vibes, good times. With Gino by your side, you'll be feeling fine.
Fuck yeah, dude.